the guidelines for tonight's feature. Please be engaged, get in the comments, share with us whether you're watching this on the live or the replay. Definitely let us know where you're watching from because we would like to know. And then always be respectful as you engage. We are a respectful community here and we do not engage in any disrespect at all as people share about their business, passion, purpose, and plans. Be sure to like, follow, and share, and definitely share this live as we are a community that makes valuable connections for the cause and for the culture. Everyone likes nail polish. Well, most of us do. Are a lover of nail polish and like all the shades. Tonight's episode is really special and just for you. So please tune in and get to know the owner of Imara Nail Polish, Miss Kerstin. Kerstin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. I wanted to say, to start with, could you please just go ahead and get yourself acquainted with the community? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, well, I, of course, own a nail polish company. I'm also a marketing coordinator during the day. So I like to do marketing all day, every day. It's what I do. As far as the nail polish company goes, I started this in 2019, I believe February 2019, and kind of just started with my Etsy store, then kind of went off to do a Shopify store, and then branched off into a couple other markets. So COVID kind of hit and was a thing. I had to do a lot of online marketing, but we're here now. We're still here. So I'm really excited for what the future holds.
Definitely. COVID did a whole lot of changing things for everybody. And it's still, even almost a whole year into this, is still a real adjustment for COVID.
Right.
So since you started Imara in 2019, can you tell us a little bit about what went into your decision to start a nail polish line?
Yeah, I was tired of going to nail salons and either not finding my color or finding the color, but it being almost gone because it was like a hot color that season. So I decided to not only bring my own nail polish, but just make an entire line. I decided that was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to learn more about. I honestly didn't know anything about nail polish before I got into it. And then as I got into it, I just started finding out more and more, which actually has brought me to today. So, yeah.
Okay, so definitely a problem solver. Not just finding it, like, the whole line, like give it the whole
line. I was like, you know what, just we're gonna do it. You're gonna do it right.
No, fight over it. I get it. I've had that happen on more than one occasion, going somewhere thinking you're gonna get a certain shade and you're kind of just disappointed and let down. So definitely gotta have some of that problem solving in you. What I would say, maybe how long did it take you from like the start of the idea of Imara Nail Polish to the time that you actually got the physical product and were able to start, selling the product?
I would say I started the end of 2018. Just thinking about it, doing the research. Before I was a marketing coordinator, I worked in apparel. So I did tech design. I kind of talked and had a lot of communication between China, India, and a lot of other places. So I developed a lot of relationships beforehand. I didn't know how that was all going to come into play until I decided to open a business. And so knowing where to go to get manufacturing and knowing how to speak to people in different countries, it really played a big role in the type of product that I received. So I say from start to finish, maybe a year, just thinking about it. I mean, and then actually getting the product in. So I probably ordered December of 2018, and then actually getting the product February of 2019. So not too long from the actual order, but just to get my mind ready for everything, probably a whole year.
Okay, so it's definitely a process. It's not something you just decide to do and all of a sudden you have your own product. There's definitely some communication and some levels to it.
Definitely. A lot of fear, I guess, with myself, just thinking like, oh my gosh, is this something that is going to actually make it? Am I going to fail at it? I just had to get over all of that. You got to just do it. And I hate to say that, but it's really just something that you have to have faith in and just jump into. It's not something that's going to be perfect as soon as you start. Nothing's ever perfect.
Okay, so it's definitely a work in progress. And I can appreciate the honesty in that because a lot of people see the finished product and it's super easy to get from start to finish. So to have that information, that background is super necessary. What is maybe one piece of advice if like you had to if someone came to you and sought out advice and said like, how would I start this product process and getting my own product? What would you maybe tell them as some advice?
Do your research. I would probably just start telling them who to contact. That probably would be the first step. Honestly, it's just knowing who to contact. I think a lot of that goes a long way. Also being organized. That is something that I had to get used to. I think the job that I have now really prepared me for that. But just having those simple structures of like Excel spreadsheets or the Quicken sheets, just having that structure really goes a long way, because you can have all the product in the world, and if you're unorganized and you get all this money and you don't know what to do with it, you don't know where your money's going, you can't grow if you don't know where it came from, or you don't know where your information is. So that's something that I would start them with: who, and then how.
So it sounds like you need to be at least on some level comfortable with like some computer software and things like that so that you can accurate. And I mean, I'm sure there's a paper and pen way to do it too, but definitely probably on the computer is probably easiest for tracking that kind of information.
Yeah, I mean, paper and pen, you can still do it that way, especially if you're starting off with less product. I don't see a problem with that. But as you grow, you're going to have more data, and with more data comes more data entry. So you don't want to be writing all that stuff down when you can simply copy and paste a lot of the information.
Okay, that makes perfect sense for anybody who would be wanting to get into business. Being that organization piece is absolutely key. So I did some reading and some research. I didn't know as much before, but I didn't understand the 10 free. Will you please explain what it means
Yeah.
for a polish to be 10 free?
Yeah, it's just 10 free means that it's free of 10 of the most harmful chemicals that used to be in nail polish. A lot of that has already gone away, but I made sure that at least 10 of those were out of my product, and it caused like excessive dryness, or it causes like just sometimes it caused like bleeding. It was out there. So you got to make sure that these chemicals are not in your product, and that's what 10 free means. Yep.
Okay. And let me ask, maybe how did you find out about the different chemicals? How did you come across that information and decide that was something you wanted to specifically, exclude from your product?
Yeah, so I did a lot of research over in China, and they don't have the same guidelines. And that's another thing. If you're getting into anything with chemicals or healthcare or anything that goes on or inside the body, make sure that the other country knows what your guidelines are here in America. So that was one thing that I had to do research on. What are the guidelines here in America? Once you know that, then you can know what questions to ask, because you don't know this until you know what the guidelines are. So then, knowing that, I went over to a manufacturer here in the US, and they had a list literally on their page just of all the harmful chemicals, and then what they do, and then what chemicals they don't have in their products and why they don't have them. So that's kind of how I figured it out. But it was a lot of research on the back end, just to even know what questions to ask. A lot of it's like information on FDA site, but it's hard to find sometimes. I mean, to be honest, it's just hard to find. You click on one link, you go to another page, you click on another link. By the time you're done with it, you're down some rabbit hole. You don't even know where you are. So it's just it's just honestly a lot of research and bookmarking all your pages once you find the information you need.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure a lot of the vegan and other movements where people are being very aware of what's in their products, whether it's food or like you said, for on the body or in the body, those things are really important. So I know there's been a
Yeah.
big push for change. And I'm sure it's had a lot to do with it.
Definitely. I try to make
Appreciate
sure that my product is a healthy, safe product, and I know it is because I've done the research. But I feel like a lot of people may not do this type of research, so it's good to put the information out there.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and take one step further. I think that it's really great that you've done this research, especially for, anybody can be affected by chemicals, but there are so many products that Black women specifically use that have so many different types of chemicals and
Hmm.
have so many diverse effects. To have taken that, they just, one more thing and make sure, your business and your venture into making these polishes that much more important.
Definitely. Thank you.
So, how would you explain the purpose of Live Imara Nail Polish, or the reason for what you do or why you've done this?
Yeah, I really just wanted to offer bright, bold colors to young people in general. Anybody who wants one, I think, can have one, regardless of race or gender or anything. Um, that's really the purpose behind it. There really wasn't any other purpose until I started doing my research. Then became more, healthy based and 10 free based, and more health conscious brand. It didn't start off that way. It kind of grew into that. But as I find out more, I'm definitely adding to my collection, my line. I have glitter now. I have nail tattoos, little nail decorations. So it's expanding slowly, but it is expanding.
Definitely. So, can you share a little bit of the process that goes into how you pick shades? Because you have some amazing shade, like literally just the flyer. The flyer alone had so much feedback on that fire yellow. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone spoke about that yellow.
I pick shades based off what I like. I also pick shades based off of um, what the influencers like, because, and I want to say that again, because influencers really do influence a lot of people. So if they're going after all the neons, that's what I want to go after. I think in 2019, a lot of the influencers like Kim Kardashian, who else was doing it? Beyonce, Rihanna, they were all picking out the neons. And I wasn't just saying like nail polishes, they were wearing neon swimsuits. They were wearing neon skirts, neon shirts. They were doing everything that they could outside of the, like, I guess the public eye, like if they were going to the beach or they were just having a vacation day, they were dressed in neon. So just taking note of what that is, because people are going to read that, whether it be on a conscious level or subconscious level. And neons were hot that summer. Like I sold out of neons faster than anything I had in my collection. So just following them and knowing what they're doing. There are other influencers that are not famous. You know, they're influencers with a large following. So I also follow them as well. Keep track
And
of them.
I appreciate you mentioning that because again, the research on the front end, but it sounds like it's continuous research too. There's times where you still
Mm.
kind of delve back and watch the trends and pay attention because that makes a difference in how you buy, honestly, purchase or
Yeah, definitely. There are also some magazines that I'm subscribed to. And some sites that I learned from school, you know, just other things. I pull in a lot of information, especially with the apparel background. A lot of that, the colors that are hot in apparel are also hot in beauty and nails and other things. So
definitely. You mentioned your marketing background earlier, and I kind of would double back a little bit to that. Does that also help influence what you do, or how? I mean, aside from just like the organization piece of it, does that also help? And maybe give us a little background on your education and what, how that contributes to what you do.
yeah, marketing definitely helps. It does help. I do marketing for real estate, so it's a little bit different. But as far as like email blasts go, or creating a flyer, or creating a video, I learned all of that while being a marketing coordinator. So I did just get into video editing, YouTube channels, things like that. But that kind of translated from my marketing coordinator position. As far as school goes, I learned almost, I say, the Adobe Illustrator program, the Adobe Photoshop program. InDesign was touched on a little bit, so I had a little bit of background. But honestly, the controls from, if you learn the controls in one program, you can apply them across all the Adobe programs. So a lot of self-taught programs like Adobe Premiere, I taught myself, and that's just because I really wanted to know. So yeah, that's what I took from school. The apparel industry, I also learned a few programs there, applying Adobe programs. So it really helps me when I'm like developing a flyer, I'm developing a logo, or I need a video. Like I can do all the edits myself and I can take all the pictures myself now. I just bought a camera. So I'm trying to eliminate as many third parties as possible, because, it costs money and I don't always have it to give. So, yeah.
Oh, definitely. And I know that women usually are funded at lesser rates than men, and
Mhm.
then, all of the different, levels of that. So it makes sense to do a lot of it yourself and take on a lot of information and do that constant learning, which is amazing, which always makes even more and more when I watch your videos on YouTube or anyone else. That's all you.
Yeah, it's all me.
That's
If
all it
there's a
takes from you.
mistake, I try to apologize and move forward, but I'm doing it myself. So if I pull in somebody from like a third party, it's because I either one, don't know the information just yet, or two, I just want to network and get to know that person, and they might be better at something than I am. And I can always admit when, something's probably not top notch. So I can say, okay, maybe this portion I won't do myself. I'll go ahead and reach out for help.
It's important to know that too. And that's a lot, somewhere I think a lot of people who are in business struggle. They don't know when it's time to go ahead and reach out and make that call.
Right. Definitely.
So, how can people purchase Live Imara Nail Polish? I know you mentioned Etsy earlier,
Mm.
and I do have the information included, but if you would like to share that information, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, Etsy is that's where we were born, I guess. I guess you could say born. Etsy is etsy.com /liveamara. So that's where my site is. That's where I usually sell most of my product, but there is a standalone site. It's just www.liveamarapolish.com. You can also purchase it there. So those are the two main sites that I typically sell off of. So if you're interested, please stop by and check us out.
Definitely. I'm sorry, let me put that out there too. If you're local to Columbus, is there anywhere that people can catch you, maybe possibly in person, or there's somewhere else possibly where there's a physical? Let me ask that too.
Well, I typically, if I do a vendor show, then you can definitely catch me in person. I typically state it before I go, like, hey, I'm going to be at this location. So if you just follow me on my social media, it's just Live Imara Polish, live_Imara__ nail polish. You can find the information there where I'll be physically. Yeah.
Okay, I thank you for sharing that too. And I wanted to talk a little bit about nail tattoos, because I know those are not everybody is familiar with what a nail tattoo is. And I know that you have some tutorials, and I want to kind of give you a chance to talk about where those are so that people can kind of get familiar and learn that process too.
Yeah, so Live Imara Cosmetics has a YouTube channel. I actually just started it, but the tutorial for the nail tattoos is the very first video. You can find that video there on our YouTube channel. There's also a link for it in the Instagram page that we have. And there's a video on our Facebook. So honestly, it's everywhere. But the water decals, or nail tattoos as I call them, basically you just submerge them in water after you cut the particular picture that you want out. And then it just slides off of the paper. You place it on your nail and you place a top coat over it, and that's it. It's on there. So it's pretty easy to apply. A lot of people aren't familiar, so they don't know, but that's why we made the tutorial. So
awesome, because if they didn't know, now they do know.
Now they do, exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about, we talked about a little bit about your passion and a little bit about your purpose. Let's jump a little ahead to the future. What are some of the plans? Are there any new things, products, services that people can look forward to?
Yeah, so I am going to nail school. I didn't think I'd ever be going back to school, but I am. I wanted to learn a lot more about hands, nails in general. I wanted to learn how to put on acrylic. Like I said, I like to eliminate third parties. So I got a camera, and I want to be able to take really good shots doing my own applications. So I'm going to get licensed and becoming a nail tech pretty soon. So not only can you buy nail polish, but you can also get your nails done at some point.
Yes, expanding. That is a beautiful thing. So here at Doing the Most Media, like I said, we are a community of interconnectedness. So you've given us your Etsy. We know that you have a YouTube. Are there any other social media or other sites, whatever you would like for us to have so that we can reach out and get a hold of those polishes?
Definitely. There's a Twitter. I don't use it as much, but I do post the same things that I post on Instagram on Twitter. So you can go to @LiveImara. That's LIVEIMARA. That's on Twitter. And then the same thing for Facebook, just Live Imara Cosmetics. And then Instagram again is live_Imara__ nail polish. So you can find us on there.
Right. I don't want us to close out without, giving you a chance to, is there anything that maybe we just didn't cover or didn't get to that you feel like it's ultimately important to share with people?
I think you did a really good job. I think we covered mostly everything, and I'm just excited to get started in nail school. I definitely want to see everybody. I'll put something out as soon as I just pick what kind of nail school or which one. I'll definitely put something out so you can come stop by and help me train and become, a part of the process. I love to see everybody.
Oh yes, definitely. That would be amazing for those who can experience that, to do that with you, and they could be a part of that growth. So
Definitely.
everybody who's tuned in, definitely be sure to check out the description underneath the video. Whether you're watching it live or on the replay, there's information there. I think I will go back and I think there might be a YouTube ad that I need to put on there, but definitely be sure to follow. That way you can find out when she goes to nail school and when you can go ahead and start expecting to see more from Live Imara. Thank you, Kerstin, for joining us tonight. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful rest of the evening.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you all on Monday.
All right. Bye.